So Thursday didn't quite work out as planned. Here on the video report, I gave you an easy free winner on the Eagles, but then my 15-dime best bet as I was going for winning day number 7 out of 8 was a top-rated 15-dime release on Georgia Southern, which when you're laying double digits on the road, you like when your team jumps out to a 15-0 lead. What you don't like is when they stop scoring, when they jump out to that 15-0 lead. So needless to say, those Eagles, the Georgia Southern variety, did not get the job done and did not cover. And it happens sometimes. The one thing you'll never find me doing, however, is making an excuse. I cannot stand those type of handicappers or gamblers, to be honest with you. The ones who say, oh, I just keyed the wrong game. Oh, I should have bet the game that I gave away as a free play. Malarkey. I just can't stand guys that make excuses. If you're one of those gamblers who likes to make excuses, I've got no time for you either. Listen. It's a really simple thing. It's black and white. It's win or lose. There's nothing gray. I used the wrong Eagles last night. That's the bottom line. But hell, the past 4.5 months, if you haven't made a fortune with my plays, shame on you, because I have. Now, tonight, though, I don't like any of the games on the board. Now, the game that I came closest to considering betting on is the game I'm going to break down here for you, Arizona at Utah, and give to you as a free selection, but I just had no interest in putting my own money down. So, again, if you happen to be a package player involved with me, you are going to simply have a day added onto your package. Because, you know, as I discussed with you all and let you know about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I've just decided after many years of doing this that I think that I can increase my winning percentage even more by simply using the plays that I absolutely love rather than just the plays that I like, and taking a pass on those days where I'm absolutely not in love with a particular game. And I'm not in love with Arizona, Utah. So I'm taking a pass, and instead I'm going to break the game down for you right here on the video report. So with that being said, let's get to it. Now, Kevin Sumlin came into Tucson replacing Rich Rodriguez, and much was to be expected because he was taking over a team that had an exciting quarterback in Khalil Tate, who, listen, I made a lot of money when Khalil Tate took over Arizona's program late last year. What no one expected was that Arizona would be such a disappointment in Kevin Sumlin's debut. But Kevin Sumlin inherited a team that was missing one thing: size. Size on the offensive line, size on the defensive line. And that's going to be troubling tonight because Utah is probably the most physical team that Arizona is going to play in the Pac-12 this season. In fact, Utah is probably one of the biggest and most physical teams that you're going to find in the Pac-12 this season. But Arizona has played better of late. An Arizona defense that only forced 1 turnover in the first 4 games has managed to force 7 turnovers in the past 2 games. But let's go back to Khalil Tate. Last year, such a dynamite player, running the ball, throwing the ball, but that's not the Khalil Tate you have seen this season. First of all, the new offensive coordinator that Kevin Sumlin brought in wanted Khalil Tate to play more under control, to become more of a pocket passer. Well, the problem is that that's really not his game, although he was adapting, but he also suffered an ankle injury in the second game of the season, and that ankle injury is still nagging him. So you're not going to see the guy who last year ran for, so many yards. I think it was like 1,400 yards in 11 games. This is a guy in the first 4 games of the season, ran the ball only 23 times and netted a minus 32 yards. Now, the past 2 games, he has shown a little more of that explosiveness, 21 carries for 78 yards. But this is not the guy who's going to be running for 100 yards a game like he was consistently last year. This year, Arizona instead is using Tate more as a pocket passer, running more RPOs, which with his speed and with his ability to turn the corner makes him a very dangerous quarterback running RPOs and makes that offense far more interesting as well. But again, Arizona has more problems along the offensive line with injuries, especially at left tackle. Arizona run defense, again, undersized, 106th in the nation stopping the run, giving up nearly 200 yards a game. Let's talk about Utah coming off a huge win, 40-21 on the road against Stanford. But I somewhat discount that victory because Stanford was coming off a big overtime comeback win at Oregon. And that was a game in which Stanford, the loss against Utah, was playing without Bryce Love. Keep that in mind. The Utah quarterback, Tyler Huntley, was very efficient in that game, 17 for 21, 199 yards. Utah had lost its first two Pac-12 games, 28-24 at Washington State, 21-7 at Washington. Now, nothing to be embarrassed about there. So when I look at this game, and I see Arizona is getting 14 points, can Arizona win this game? No. I think that you have to consider the letdown factor. Utah coming off the big win against Stanford. And listen, that snapped an 8-game losing streak for Utah against Pac-12 Northern Division teams, okay? It was a big revenge win for the Utes as well. So I think you have to consider the letdown factor. Plus, did Utah win that game so much as Stanford lost it? Stanford lost it because they were coming off the overtime win at Oregon. Stanford lost it because they were playing without the most dynamic player on the field in Bryce Love. Again, I think Arizona can stay within the 14-point margin here in this game. I think Utah wins it, but I think it's going to be a 10-point game. So if I had to bet it, I would grab the points with Arizona. Again, not in love with any of these games tonight, but if I had to play one of them, it would be Arizona plus the points. So that'll do it. Talk to you again tomorrow, and